Hey, I got something to show you guys. Take a look. It is spring. Happy spring to all of you. Take a look at what we have here for you from AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Beautiful spring scent candles here for you. Hand poured with premium fragrance and essential oils. How about this? Our coconut soy wax candles bring fresh, uplifting spring scents to your home. Made with clean, natural ingredients, they're a mindful choice for sensitive spaces and those who love effortless seasonal fragrances. You got to check it out right now. There's the soft bloom and the lemon bar candles, all healthy ingredients, all from AlleyRoseFragrances.com. And if you're a first-time customer, use the promo code InsideEdge20. That's InsideEdge20. Get this for yourself, for your friends, family, everyone. You want a good smelling home, AlleyRoseFragrances.com will make it happen. Again, AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Get the new spring candles. And when you order, if you're a first-time customer, InsideEdge20 is the promo code.
Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to Fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's Fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to Midnight Run here on this Friday night, heading into Saturday morning. It is 12:03, and I don't know if you can believe it or not, but the New York Knicks are up 2-0 in the NBA Finals, and we'll talk about that. We got so much to get into here on this Friday night. I ran a test with AI to talk about the Cleveland Browns, project the 2026 Cleveland Browns. What if I told you that according to AI, the Cleveland Browns have found their next quarterback, and the Cleveland Browns are going to head to the playoffs and win a playoff game? That's according to AI. We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. Plus, we didn't get a chance to cover it, but Unpack Friday, I want to get into the Madden cover. Caleb Williams is on the cover. Will he fall victim to the Madden curse? We'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. But let's first begin not just with the NBA Finals, but the significance of what we are seeing with the NBA Finals. Of course, the New York Knicks, they are up 2-0 in the series, 105-114. San Antonio made a comeback on their own. They were down 14 points. They actually took a lead, but then Victor Wembanyama turned into a child, or I shouldn't say a child. That's the meaning. He turned into a kid. He had moments where he just threw the ball away. Mitch Johnson, I don't know why they didn't call timeout at certain moments. And now I can't tell you the last time I think many of us were wrong in terms of a forecast of the NBA Finals. I think a lot of people, because listen, I think a lot of us buy into the hype of the Western Conference, and we all thought that San Antonio and Oklahoma City was the real NBA Finals. Like we treated it like it was the 1994 Cowboys 49ers NFC Championship game. And we acted like the New York Knicks was the San Diego Chargers from way back when. That is not the case. That's not the case at all. This is this Knicks team. And listen, I understand the run. I get it. You're not going through the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers and the Minnesota Timberwolves. You're going through the Hawks, the Sixers, and the Cavs. I get that. And more on the Cavs here in just a moment. But I'll tell you what. I mean, Jalen Brunson, he's a stud. And Karl Anthony Towns, I've been so impressed with his work and what he's been able to do in these finals. It's really been amazing to see really this playoff run. And listen, I'm one of those too. Again, I'm such a broadcasting nerd. Sometimes I watch these post-game interviews and sometimes I'll say to myself, man, he's going to be a good broadcaster when he's done playing. And Karl Anthony Towns is going to be a phenomenal, if he chooses to go this route, because the networks will pay, he's going to be a phenomenal broadcaster when it's all said and done. I think he's going to be fantastic. But again, we're Cleveland's digital leader. The focus, the angle that we look at is from the Cleveland angle. And again, remember also like and subscribe at Inside Edge Net across all of our socials, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're also on Twitch as well. And then also check out our website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Midnight Run here with you Monday through Friday live, midnight to 1 a.m. right here on the Inside Edge Network. I'm flying this solo, by the way. Eli behind the scenes in front of the camera. Eli's been working his tail off. I said, buddy, take the night off. So Inside Edge Prime Time, they had a great best of show earlier today, Eli and Chad. And then, we're flying this thing solo, and I am perfectly fine with it because I know an NBA Finals game on a Friday night. Are you going to watch it? I don't. But if you did, you saw a really, really good game and a really, really good finish. There's also going to be a finals game, by the way, on a Saturday. It's scheduled to be on a Saturday. I believe it's Game 5. Will this series make it to Game 5? Chances are pretty slim. If you're a Cavs fan that's like angry about, I know time has passed. I get it. All right, enjoy the finals. And believe me, I'm one of those grumpy ones. I'm like, man, we could have been. I mean, honestly, watching these two teams play, I mean, come on now. But when you're watching this, you watch Game 1, and you're just like, of the finals, and you're like, man, we were there. Same thing happened to us. Same thing. We could not maintain momentum, and then the series fell apart. It is very possible that this NBA Finals is going to play out exactly how the Eastern Conference Finals played out. But there's one other bigger thing that I want to address here tonight. Because let's talk about, I want to address this from the Cavs standpoint. If I'm not mistaken, this is now the third straight postseason where we ran into a team that had an all-time generational playoff run en route to a championship, if I'm not mistaken, right? 2024 was the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics shot out of their minds in the playoffs. And I'll be honest, I was looking forward to the NBA Finals in 2024 between the Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks. I'm like, this is going to be a great matchup. I mean, Boston's going to be favored, but Dallas is going to put up a fight. It's going to be pretty competitive. No, it was not competitive at all. Not at all. Not even close. I think that series ended in 5 games, and probably, it was a gentleman's sweep, but it should have been a real sweep. It was not good, really at all. It was not good. Let me see something real quick. Okay, cool. They're not going to kill me there. Okay, doing some behind the scenes stuff there, making sure that's good. But yeah, that was 2024. Okay, I get it. It's Boston. They're top of the class. Understandable. And then last year, Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers. Buzzsaw, second round. We get demolished. We got a lot of internal issues we had to look at and address. And, and Indiana went on to Game 7 of the NBA Finals. And who knows what would have happened. I personally believe if Tyrese Halliburton was healthy and didn't get injured during the first half of Game 7 of the Finals, I believe Indiana would have won the championship last year. And now this year, the New York Knicks, let me tell you what they've done in these playoffs. The New York Knicks have won 13 straight playoff games. It's the second longest streak in playoff history. I believe near the very top. Maybe the 01 Lakers, I believe, is at the top. The 2001 Lakers, and remember again, back then it was a best of 5 first round. Lakers swept the first round, swept the second round, swept the conference finals, and they only lost one game in the NBA Finals that year to the Philadelphia 76ers. They lost game 1, and then they took the next 4. Kobe and Shaq and the Lakers. The Knicks are up there. 13 straight playoff victories. They have won 8 straight road playoff games. So I'm going to be honest. I'm looking at this series, and I'm like, boy, we're done, or the series is done. Listen. I'm not going to go – I'm not involved with betting, but I'm not anti-betting at all. But if I was in that, obviously you would be, the odds of Game 3, they're pretty much up there. Matter of fact, let me check real quick. I'm going to go on my phone. We're going to do this live to the ESPN app and see. So Game 3 is on Monday night. All right, it's a pick 'em. It's New York 2.5-point favorites in Game 3. Game 3 is on Monday night. Game 4 is on Wednesday night. Game 5 is next Saturday. And I believe it's on Saturday because the World Cup begins late next week. So they want, late next week. So they want to do whatever they can. NBA and the Stanley Cup final, NHL, they want to do whatever they can to avoid that. But, look, it's very possible we're going to be celebrating, or the league, I won't be celebrating, but it's going to be very possible the New York Knicks will be celebrating an NBA title on Wednesday night. You see, in terms of the Cavaliers, do you open up and say to yourself, there's a part of me, I'm going to hate what I'm going to say here because I wholeheartedly hold the Cavaliers accountable for how this playoff run ended and how they fell short, like wholeheartedly. They should have held on in Game 1. And maybe Kyle Cornell of Unfiltered, maybe he's correct. My Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast co-host. Maybe he's right. You win Game 1, this is an entirely different landscape. Maybe the Cavaliers make it a series in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they're in the NBA Finals. And I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, when there's pressure, you kind of see where things fall. Right now, San Antonio Spurs, even though they went through the crazy Western Conference, and I forgot who said it. Oh, it was Kevin Garnett. I'm on his podcast. I might play the clip next week. Kevin Garnett made a very interesting point. He's like, look, San Antonio made such a big deal out of winning the Western Conference Final that they kind of forgot, oh yeah, you still got to play at NBA Finals. And I wonder how many San Antonio Spurs fans, after winning the conference final against OKC, I wonder how many Spurs fans booked an NBA title. New York's a hungrier team, and that's where I don't want the Cavaliers. I know I'm jumping around a little bit here. I don't want the Cavaliers front office to look at what the Knicks are doing and look at the last few years and say, let's just run it back. All we got to do is change one thing and we're good to go. No. The way you should be looking at this, if you're the Cavs front office, if you're Kobe Altman, if you're Dan Gilbert, whoever takes over for Mike Gansey, the way you should be looking at this, do you have a player on the floor who could make clutch shots at a moment's notice? Do you have a player on the floor who you could turn to at a moment's notice and dominate the boards, dominate the spacing of the floor like Karl Anthony Towns? Do you have an OG on the floor? Somebody who you need, again, pointed three-pointers, right? I'm looking at, OG, two three-pointers made. Cat, three three-pointers made. Mikal Bridges, 4 3-pointers made. Do you have guys on the floor who can consistently deliver on that front? The answer is absolutely not. How many times in these playoffs did we look at Donovan Mitchell? Did we look at James Harden? And we looked at, Dean Wade and Sam Merrill and others. And, brick. Nobody you could turn to hit timely shots. That is why the Celtics in 2024, the Pacers in 2025, and the New York Knicks in 2026, those teams are on generational runs because those guys have teams that are hot from the floor at any moment's notice. We don't have that. Also, those 3 teams have big guys, front court guys that are featured, on their team. Any given moment's notice. We don't feature our front court guys. We look at Evan Mobley and say, hey, dominate the opening quarter and then disappear during the rest of the game because we don't do anything with them. What are we doing with Mobley? What are we doing with Jared Allen? These are the little things that you can get over the hump. Listen. And I know we got a break here. Listen, you're not that far away. I know you're watching the New York Knicks, and I'm watching Wemby. You're watching the New York Knicks, and you're like, shoot. I get it. I completely get it. You're watching, you're just like, right? You're a couple moves away. I mentioned before last week, I have no problem if, you're going for Giannis, you're going for LeBron, whatever the case may be. That's step number 1. You go for those guys in the package deal. If you can't land at least Giannis, I have no problem trading Donovan Mitchell if there's if there's a package that makes sense, because I don't think his body can hold up. I'm still amazed. How did James Harden have more minutes than Donovan Mitchell? That blows my mind. It really does. You kind of question the rotations and all that stuff. But anywho, what a compelling finals game. And And listen, and I'm going to put this up here from Kyle. I mean, the opponents, that has a big deal. So if you take this into account, and I do think this is a reasonable thing to take into account, you might be a move away. You may not be that far away if you're a Cavs fan to get to this point next year, to be right there. Kyle said, this is for those who are listening and not watching our show. The Knicks are playing so well, but they're very lucky with their opponents. Sixers Super Bowl was winning the Game 7. That Game 7 was against Boston. Cavs were just happy to be in the conference finals with New York. And then the Spurs were drained after their NBA finals over OKC. And here's one other point. And this is the difference between basketball and football. Because let me go back to that terminology that we used about the dominant NFC of the 80s and most of the 90s. Because this is in football, all you need on a weekly basis is to win one game. All your efforts goes into one game. And that's it. For basketball and baseball and hockey, and baseball and hockey, they have their own specialties. But and for the sake of this conversation, we're talking NBA basketball. You momentum is key, and now if you if you pour too much into an early round playoff series, you will have nothing left for the next round. Nothing left. And I think that's key. I think that's absolutely key. But I will again give New York credit. Even though Kyle's 1,000% correct in what he just said, and I said the same thing, the Knicks still had to show up. The Knicks still had to make critical shots. The Knicks still had to show that they were the veteran team and make the key moves. So that's critical. I'm looking here in the background real quick, the final seconds of the game. So what? The ball goes. So we're like under 10 seconds. Ball goes out of bounds. Yeah. Wemby had an open shot. That's the last thing. You got to make shots in the story. Despite all the bad stuff that we're talking about, if Wemby hits that jumper at the end of the game, the series is tied at 1 apiece. And who knows where the momentum would have gone. Maybe we are talking about another 7-game series. But Wemby missed a shot. And because Wemby missed a shot at the end of the game, New York is in full control of the NBA Finals. The key is, for the rest of the league, where do you stand in getting to that next level? All right, let's take a break. When we come back, I did something absolutely crazy at the gym, and I can't believe I did this. And I'm like, what are we doing? So while working out, I typed in something in the AI machine. Oh, I hate this bit. I typed this up to the AI machine. And I'm like, AI, who's going to win the starting quarterback job for the Cleveland Browns? And I saw the answer. Okay. And then question 2, AI, simulate the 2026 Cleveland Browns season. And the results that I saw, you're not going to believe. We'll take a break, come back. This is Midnight Run. We are live here on a Friday night. Glad you're with us. Very eventful night. And we got that. We got the Madden cover. We'll talk about all that coming up next. Right here on the Inside Edge Network. Stay close.
Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches, free from harmful toxins, for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network. Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to Fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's Fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Welcome back to Midnight Run here on the Inside Edge Network. Anthony Alford back here with you. And I did an experiment today. And again, remember to like and subscribe at the Inside Edge Network across all of our social media platforms at Inside Edge Net. There we go. We're good there. All right. I did a little experiment. You know, sometimes when you're at the gym, you know, or just, you know, sometimes thoughts come into your head and you're like, this might be a good idea, but it's a Friday. I don't know if this is a good idea to do it for this show. No, F that. We're going to reward those who are tuning in on a Friday night. And again, we're glad to have you with us here live. I did something crazy. Absolutely crazy. I went on our AI, or not our AI tool. It's not our AI tool. I went to an AI tool and I put in a prompt, which led to another prompt. And I got some notes from said prompt. I'm not even joking. I did. I'll share the screen here momentarily because, yeah, I did. It was crazy. Okay. So in the prompt, Mr. or Mrs. or whoever AI, whatever you decide to make it, who will win the starting quarterback job for the Cleveland Browns? I put that in. And let me make sure I hit the right button here to share the screen. Yes, that is the right button. And I will show you what it says right now. Look at that. So, who will win the starting QB job for the Cleveland Browns? And I'm not going to make you read all that stuff, but here's what AI says, right? AI talked about Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson had the early lead. Deshaun Watson looked sharp in OTAs. Now, it says it regressed. Again, this is AI. This is just going based off of public reports that you have heard, right? AI is dangerous, though, because AI doesn't tell you who the reports are coming from. They tell you a little bit, but it doesn't source it, right? So, by the way, in terms of AI, can you imagine being an educator and you turn to your kids to like, hey, I need sources. And, oh, cool, let's pull up AI. AI is not a source. AI is not even telling you where the opinions are coming from. So this part here is like, okay, whatever. You're pulling random sources and stuff. But the point that it makes, and then, Deshaun Watson, we talked about it, the early reports that he had a large lead in QB camp, even though Todd Monken did come out and say, well, it's only been 3 practices, right? And, mini camp starts next week. And then it does bring up an interesting point that we talked about, but you can't do it because, again, you're installing a new offense. But it brings up the point of, maybe Deshaun Watson could have wrapped this thing up early in practice. Again, it's hard to do that, but that's AI for you. You take it for a grain of salt. And then talked about Shedeur Sanders. He has taken strides. Yes, he has. He is working very hard. We played the clip the other day from Mary Kay Cabot. She was on 92.3 The Fan here locally in Cleveland. Talked about how Shedeur Sanders has made a push, has made a reasonable big push to the next level in practice and getting more reps. So the verdict, according to AI, the computer, which companies are looking for AI to take over the world, expect Shedeur Sanders to win the QB job for the Cleveland Browns. Unbelievable. And it says here, according to AI, every day the competition extends without a clear winner of the competition favors Shedeur. And because of the recent trades, or the trade with Myles Garrett, now with Myles Garrett out of the picture, and listen, Jared Verse he has the accolades. He's a stud player. He's not Myles Garrett at this very moment, but he's a player that walked in the door and took Dillon Gabriel's number. Okay, that happened. It took Dillon Gabriel's number. The Browns were waiting for the NFL, I believe, to approve that change, but Jared Verse walked into camp day one with number 8, and you're Dillon Gabriel, like, bro, send me to Atlanta immediately. I guarantee you Kevin Stefanski's would play Dillon Gabriel if he was in Atlanta with him. But what AI brings up, and I'm going to come back full here in just a little bit here. AI brings up an interesting point that I talked about for a while, and I think now it really sets itself up. There is no reason why Shedeur Sanders should not start all 17 games except for that effing contract. That's it. Deshaun Watson's contract in particular. That's it. I've said time and time again, Shedeur Sanders has proven more than enough times that if you surround him with talent, he'll be fine. And he needs all and you have a younger team around him, give him some pieces, give him some weapons. You have something there and allow him to learn. I do not trust Deshaun Watson when the speed picks up. Deshaun Watson is perfectly fine when the speed is slow. It's in practice street ball mode, or not street ball mode, but, no pads. You're going up against scout team defense. Yes, your knowledge of football you could deliver balls and be fine and be sharp. What gives you the I'm not asking you guys. You guys know the answer to this question. We're talking about the Browns. What indication do you have from the Cleveland Browns that says, man, Deshaun Watson, he's going to play all 17 games and lead this team to the playoffs or be competitive? But the problem is he looks really good in practice. He looks good in pads, all that, or without pads, he looks great. But there's more opportunity for Shedeur Sanders to lock in that job. Okay, so at the gym, I was actually stunned because I was working on dumbbells. I typed it in and pulled all this up, and I'm like, Shedeur Sanders, he's going to win the job? My prediction was Deshaun Watson was going to win the job, but then he'll probably get injured, the first couple weeks of the season or bad performance, and then Shedeur Sanders is playing by week 3 or week 4. According to AI, artificial intelligence, they got him going week 1. All right, let's continue then. If we can, I think this is it here. Let's bring it back. So, I did not click on, do I want to break down Monken's new offensive scheme? But I did ask, based on your response to the previous question, please simulate the 2026 Browns season, the regular season. Who wins each game? Give me the QB stats for each game for us and the opposing teams. Now, again, I'm not going to go through every single game. But then it said, AI told you 10-7 with Shedeur Sanders at quarterback. Boy, you got to love AI. You got to love it. And look, I'll just scroll down here what it has. 10-7, a wild card playoff berth. These are the treats you get when you watch this show on a Friday night. So they got an opening W against Jacksonville, loss against Tampa, and then you beat, you beat Carolina, beat Pittsburgh, and you go through some of the other teams there. And then the playoff push. Maybe a little bit of a slump, but there you go. So this is just AI going, right? Now, AI is not perfect. The first time I ran this simulation, it said Deshaun Watson was going to win the starting quarterback job. And then in week 14, he was going to get injured. And Dorian Thompson-Robinson was going to take over. So obviously, AI, you got to clean things up a lot, right? So then you get to the playoffs. Says, all right, let's keep going. If the Browns finish 10-7 and make the playoffs, simulate their wild card matchup. Who do they play and what are their stats? So according to AI, a 10-7 record locks the Browns into the AFC 6th seed, setting up, according to AI, a brutal, freezing January road trip matchup against the Buffalo Bills. And it says here, Tom Monken leans heavily on a quick game passing attack to neutralize the Buffalo's pass rush. Boy, you got to love those hard-hitting analysis from AI. The defense holds just enough to pull off the upset. So according to AI, Shedeur Sanders is the starting quarterback. Shedeur Sanders leads the Browns to a 10-7 record, leads the Browns to a wild card berth. We're the 6th seed, and we go to Buffalo, and we beat them in the wild card 24-21. Boy, if this doesn't tell you that AI as whatever artificial intelligence is on crack, I don't know what else we could convince you. If there's some business out there that believes that AI can take over the world, point them back to this segment and tell them that AI is on effing crack. And your business could be heading that way too if you're dependent solely on AI to take over your industry. So, by the way, if any regular human would have said the Browns are going 10-7, going to the playoffs, and they're beating Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills in the wild card round in 2026, You're getting kicked off of talk radio. You get like you're on crack. You're on crack. Whatever you consume at 12:40 in the morning on a Friday night, Saturday morning, send it this way. This is unreal. This is unreal. What are you thinking? What are you doing? It's almost like you leave your police job to go on a reality show and you leave your 2-year-old son at home. This is the kind of activity that takes place when you depend on AI to do your work. But hell, let's continue. Let's have some fun because why the hell not? We're being positive. It's Friday. So according to AI, the Browns win the wild card against the Buffalo Bills, 24-21. Those are the stats. Shedeur Sanders outplays. Well, actually, he doesn't outplay. Let's take a look here. Shedeur Sanders, 22 of 31, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Josh Allen, however, 19 of 34, 265, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Gotta love it. I'm not reading all this breakdown. So you see the breakdown there. Bad weather, all that stuff. All right. We got a divisional round. Oh, boy, we're rolling. You face the Kansas City Chiefs. According to AI, the Kansas City Chiefs will return to the top of the AFC this year, led by Patrick Mahomes. They will be the 1 seed, which means, of course, you are you get that bye in the first round of the from the first round of the playoffs. And we ended the journey because it says here, AI predicts the Cleveland Browns 2026 magical season led by Shedeur Sanders and Todd Monken comes to an end with a 31-20 loss to the 1 seed Kansas City Chiefs. Cleveland fights hard and keeps it a 1-score game well into the fourth quarter, but Patrick Mahomes becomes Patrick Mahomes again, a masterclass in situational football. You got to love AI. A late Chiefs safety seals the game. Boy. Yeah, a safety late in the game is going to seal the game and seal our season. But those are the final stats. Shedeur Sanders, 25 of 39, 275 yards and a touchdown, 1 interception. Mahomes, 3 touchdowns, 290 yards, 23 of 32, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's bring it back to me here. So let's say you believed all that BS that AI just put out there. Just put it out there. Let's say you believed all that. I don't think you're getting Arch Manning. I think Shedeur Sanders will lock it up. If we go off of that fairy tale that AI just delivered there for the sake of pure entertainment, obviously you have your franchise quarterback, and it kind of defy odds, right? Shedeur Sanders, a top 5, prospect in last year's draft. He falls all the way to the 5th round. Was once beaten out by Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel. Those guys. If Kenny Pickett was healthy, he would have got beat out by Kenny Pickett last year. And then this year, all signs point to Deshaun Watson winning the starting job. So I will say, in this little wild simulation from AI, a late safety will seal the game. Wow. In this little wild simulation, if you get all that, the Browns are going to look like the smartest organization in football, which is why none of this is believable. But just follow me. You got Shedeur Sanders basically on a penny because he's a 5th-round draft pick. You got him on a penny. You got him surrounded by the young talent. I didn't go through extensively like, hey, give me some other key stats and stuff because, that's where AI will really, really fall apart and show itself. But you do all that, and you're like, wow. And then all of a sudden, at that point, let's say all that happens. The Browns have 2 first-round draft picks next year, which obviously, if you wanted to, you could move off of those, give it to a disappointing team, and perhaps get more, do whatever you can. And obviously, too, you have no problem offloading Deshaun Watson on June 1st of 2027. So note to self, when we have the Inside Edge Network, let's not launch a new program on June 1st next year, because June 1st next year is going to be a busy day, because that will be the day that Deshaun Watson is no longer a member of the Cleveland Browns. And we will have full coverage of that here on the Inside Edge Network. But there you go. Now, after you watch this segment, how much faith do you have in AI to take over the world? If you have faith that AI can take over the world, you have faith that the Cleveland Browns, this Cleveland Browns of 2026, is going to go all the way to the divisional round of the playoffs. All I can say, ladies and gentlemen, is that cocaine is one hell of a drug. We'll be back.
Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches, free from harmful toxins, for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network. Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to Fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's Fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com.
And we thank you for your support of the Inside Edge Network. And don't miss my show, Midnight Run, right here on the Inside Edge Network. You won't miss a single episode when you like and subscribe at Inside Edge Net. Okay, so I ran something. I followed up because why the hell not? If AI is telling me that the Browns are going to do what they're doing there, for those who's joining us, I ran a thing with AI earlier today. I said, number one, who's going to win the starting QB job for the Cleveland Browns? They said Shedeur Sanders will be the week 1 starter. And then I said, simulate the regular season. They simulated the regular season, and they have the Browns going 10-7. And qualifying for the playoffs, 6 seed wild card. And then they said the Cleveland Browns will beat the Buffalo Bills in Western New York. Shedeur Sanders will outplay Josh Allen in the wild card. And then AI somewhat came to a senses in the second round. We would lose to the 1 seed Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City was sealed the deal with a late game safety. Unbelievable. And then I quickly ran here, and then we got news on Madden and stuff to close out the show. I quickly then added, okay, what was the question I put down here? Based on the response to this prompt, what's the outlook of the 2027 Cleveland Browns? And it gave 2 points. It said, trade for a disgruntled superstar. Target an elite, established veteran playmaker looking for a change of scenery. As funny as that sounds, that's exactly what New England did. A.J. Brown, now a member of the New England Patriots. We'll see how that dynamic goes. I saw a different version of the Madden cover that, if it were real, might sell a lot of buys. Draft for immediate impact. Use the multiple first-round picks to plug the remaining holes on cheap 4-year rookie deals. I will say this, all kidding aside, if this entire simulation happened, you would actually have the outlook that you were intending to have back in 2021 when you had Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, David Njoku. You had all those guys, like you had a nucleus, Nick Chubb, of course, on rookie deals. And you're going to have honestly, if this happens, the Cleveland AI is essentially saying the Cleveland Browns could become the NFL's version of the Oklahoma City Thunder. A ton of young, cheap draft picks are rookie deals, and all you're doing is just capitalizing on rookie deals. It says some other stuff. It also said defense in year 2 of the transition. And then it said, bottom line, the Browns enter 2027 in this AI simulation. I want to make this clear for those who are just joining us here. This is all just an AI simulation. The Browns enter 2027 with a championship window that is wide open in a conference where Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson eat up massive percentages of their team's salary caps. Cleveland's ability to flank a high-performing Shedeur Sanders with top-tier talent would make them a popular preseason pick to win the AFC North and challenge for a Super Bowl berth. Okay, we'll see if any of that happens. But listen, if you're a Browns fan looking for any lick of positivity, I mean any lick of positivity, why not entertain something like this? Why not? Because it's fun. I mean, the last thing Browns fans have been able to enjoy or do consistently over the last 30 years is have fun. So at least this is fun. I mean, this is something that you can look at and be like, okay. Here's the Madden cover. Caleb Williams is was announced as the 2027 or Madden 27 cover athlete. Now, this is usually the point of the year where my brother and I have our yearly conversation about how ESPN NFL 2K5 still stands tall as the greatest video football game to have ever been created. And 20-some years later, Madden still has not lived up to the standards set by Sega Sports, 2K Sports, and ESPN NFL 2K5. It still blows my mind that in 2026, we still have not, and I could be wrong because I'm not up to speed on video games. I'll tell you why in a second. But in 2005, ESPN NFL 2K had a first-person mode. They had an actual halftime show with Chris Berman, and they ran highlights of games in-game. They had Trey Wingo do NFL primetime. They had a dynasty mode. Basic stuff that I took for granted back in the day. I picked up a Madden from a couple years ago. They didn't even have dynasty mode. How can you not have a franchise mode? What are we doing? Why are we cheaping out on video games? This generation doesn't know any better. It's like, oh, we have online play and we'll be fine. No. You build your team and you let Tony Bruno build up your team and say, boy, Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns have a shot to go to the playoffs for the first time and potentially beat Buffalo in the wild card. What are we doing? Okay, this segment was supposed to be about Caleb Williams and him overcoming the Madden curse, which I don't think is going to happen. And the real football reason why he's not going to overcome the Madden curse is quite simple. The Bears have the toughest projected schedule in the 2026 NFL season. And we're not going to have time to do it tonight. We're going to do it at some point next week. We'll take the pool of NFL teams that made the playoffs. We'll take all 14 teams. It happens every year. You look at all 14 teams and you're like, oh, crap, 4 of these teams will not make the playoffs the following season. And we'll pick out those 4. And maybe Chicago is on that list. Also, next week on Midnight Run, because I want to spend more than 2 minutes on this. I thought our mayor was stupid here in Cleveland. Did you hear Chicago's mayor talk about the situation with the Bears at their stadium? Okay, fine. You got to, political talk, do whatever. And I was out in Chicago 2 weeks ago. Soldier Field is at a terrible spot. They need to move. Like it's worse than here, just football wise, because it's like they play stuff. It's like if you played Sims and the video game says, hey, place a football stadium, and you build up enough credits to place a football stadium, but you don't think about the infrastructure around the stadium. So you just place the stadium, boom, right there. So it's like, I'll show you real quick here. No, I can't do it on here. I'll show you. It's like this is what they did. They have freeway, skyline. They have a great skyline. And then, boom, stadium, lake. And then people running. That is Chicago and Soldier Field. Their lakefront situation, their stadium situation sucks. I actually agree with Jake Underwood. He was on with Kyle Cordell on Unfiltered Thursday afternoon, where he said about what Cleveland should do. I think both Kyle and Jake mentioned this. Forget about apartments and shopping malls and stuff on the lakefront. Put a park. And I'm not talking Edgewater. I'm talking about a legitimate park at that lakefront that people could be proud of. And put it there, make it look beautiful. And if you want to honor Browns history and Cleveland sports history, build statues and stuff. And Jim Brown, and many others, Bertie Kosar and others throughout this park, and make it something that Cleveland is proud of. Open the air up a little bit, and make a lakefront the real lakefront. But no, we're going to play a clip next week because Chicago's mayor said he admitted he left a Bears-Packers game early to beat traffic. What kind of a sports fan are you? What sports fan would openly admit to leaving a game, an NFL game, and the Bears are king over there? Like, who would admit, oh, I'm leaving a game to beat traffic. Oh, please keep our stadium here in Chicago. Get the hell out of here. You know what? Fine. Take that stadium and go to Indiana. Go to Indiana. And honestly, because of their mayor and his comments, don't think you didn't notice within 2 days, the Bears come out with a statement. Oh, yeah, we're moving forward with our stadium development in Hammond, Indiana. Come on. At least Justin Bibbs sidestepped everything and said, "Oh, we're gonna hold the Cleveland Browns accountable." Okay, sure. By the way, you wouldn't want me to handle the Brown Stadium situation because people say like, "Oh, Berea is a bad idea." I would have moved their asses over to Streetsboro. I would have moved them to Medina or somewhere where there's actual open space to drive to and actually develop and actually utilize the infrastructure because that's what I would have done. Because the reason why the Browns, I'm just dropping gospel here for the last couple minutes. The reason why the Browns are not going to host the Super Bowl, it's not because they won't have a world-class stadium. They will have a world-class stadium. They cannot build out from their location. You put your stadium in the this might as well be Interstate 480 at the top, 71 on the side, the airport to the Berea Freeway, 237 here, and then boom, the stadium. Where can you grow? You can't grow anywhere. Out here are houses, house, and you're not tearing down the IX Center to make it a data center. What are we doing? These politicians don't think. And then when Roger Goodell comes to town and say, by the way, you're not getting a Super Bowl, we're sitting here looking dumbfounded as if, oh, what a shock. Well, no. If you don't get a Super Bowl, we got people running our city and running our teams that are idiots. That's just in the story. And there's not enough forward thinking. Because I'm telling you guys right now, we'll get events. We will get key level events, high level events. You're not getting a Super Bowl. You cannot. Roger Goodell made it known you have to have hotels. And like a large scale of hotels. You can't move people out of homes and create hotels. Anywho, Caleb Williams is not going to beat the Madden curse. That's the whole point of the segment. All right, remember, again, like and subscribe at Inside Edge Net. Remember to go on our website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. We have personality profiles. We have a merch store. We have a ton of things. A lot of great stuff that you can buy. Again, support. We are locally grassroots. We are Cleveland's digital leader for sports, news, entertainment, mental health, culture, all that stuff. We have that covered for you. All right. That is my time. Saturday, we got Real Talk with Papa Moon. That's our mental health podcast. Check that out every Saturday, including tomorrow at 5 p.m. right here on the Inside Edge Network. And then I'll be back with you, myself, Eli Moon, Rob Rizicki. We'll be back with you on Sunday night for the main event here on the Inside Edge Network. And that'll, of course, lead into the work week and our daily lineup, starting with Omar with our Inside Edge morning show at 9 o'clock. We got Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell at 5. Illegal Formation. I'm sure they'll have thoughts, things going on the football side of things. Chad Bryant, TK Dangerous, that comes your way at 7. And then Inside Edge Prime Time at 10, Eli and Chad. And then I'll be back with you at midnight for this show, Midnight Run. I'm glad you guys are with us. We are live Monday through Friday at this time slot at midnight. And yeah, we like to have fun and enjoy, but incredible finals game, crazy Brown simulation, and other stuff going on as well. So for all of us here, yes, I'll play. I do not do online video games, so I forgot to make that point real quick. I lose. I just turn the game off, and that's that. I'm one of those, like, if I'm down by 2 touchdowns, I'm saying that the computer cheated. I'm saying that the opponent rigged the game, and I will pause the game in the game. You will not get the satisfaction. If you play me online in Madden, you will not get the satisfaction of getting a W. I will quit your game on a moment's notice and call it a game and rage. So I'll do video games. Stick with my Nintendo 64. I'll be perfectly fine. Give me NFL Blitz, and I'll be perfectly fine. All right, we're done. Have a good night, everybody. We'll be back with you for this show coming up on Monday night. Have a good one. We'll see you when we see you.